My name is Rick Riordan. I'm the author of the Percy Jackson series about Greek mythology, the Kane Chronicles about Egyptian mythology, and most recently, the Heroes of Olympus, the new series I just have out. And the first book, The Lost Hero, just came out this week. Well, if kids find my stories interesting, I hope it's because I was a teacher for a long time and I kind of know what kids like. I always imagine myself telling these stories to my own classroom, sort of fifth period after lunch, when it's really hard to get their attention. I also have a built-in advantage because I talk about mythology, and I think mythology is something that kids really can relate to. I know that when I was a kid, I loved it. My own sons just ate it up, and whenever I taught it for the schools, it was always the kids' favorite thing. It's just, mythology has everything you would want for a good story. It's got romance, action, mystery, murder, villains, heroes, monsters. What more could you want? Well, I knew kids would be attracted to the Greek mythology because, you know, these stories have been around for thousands of years for a reason. They're fantastic. The gods, I think, are our first superheroes. And kids like them the same way they like Batman and Superman. They're bigger-than-life characters with amazing powers, but they're also very human and very flawed, and we can relate to them. And kids like to imagine what would they do if they found out that they were the son of Zeus or the daughter of Athena. It's something I think every kid dreams about. Finding out that you're actually part of some secret family or that you have abilities that no one knows about. I decided to make Percy Jackson ADHD and dyslexic because my own son is ADHD dyslexic, and he was having a lot of trouble when he was young learning how to read. He really didn't like school, really didn't like English class, and as an English teacher myself, that was pretty hard for me to take. So I used Greek mythology as a way to keep him interested in school. I would tell him stories, and when I ran out, he asked me to make up a new myth for him, and that became Percy Jackson. I decided that Percy should be like him, an ADHD dyslexic kid, having his own trouble, but I made it a sign of honor. If you had those conditions, there was a good chance you were a demigod. And my son had no trouble believing that. My sense of audience really has changed. When it first started, it was just my son. It was a story for him. I've always taught boys and girls, though. I've always taught in a co-ed environment. And so I would be very sad to think that I had a story that only worked for boys or only worked for girls. I'm always happy when people say that they are stories that they recommend for reluctant reader boys, because I was one myself, and I got two sons who were reluctant readers. But I think if you look at my events, you'll see it's almost exactly half-half. Girls like the stories, boys like the stories, and honestly, I'm very happy with that. I wouldn't have it any other way.